Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Bearable Bull here. And I got this aggressively average content for you today, as I'm asking the entire XRP army to have wide open ears and to pay extremely close attention to my next words. 2024 is the year of the dragon. And I believe on the world stage, that means it's going to be a powerful year for China in numerous ways. I believe it's very possible that while the United States is distracted and politically divided with elections this year, they may make a move on Taiwan. But that's besides the point, because right now, I need to remind you that the last Blackswan event the world witnessed started in 2019. From China, and this time around, the financial black swan, I believe it's on its way, and China just fired the warning shot. From the Kobeissi letter, nearly 30% of all stocks in China have been halted, as China's CSI 1000 index has slid 8% in a matter of hours. This was just a glimpse at the bloodbath that occurred today. And ladies and gentlemen, I believe the liquidation of China's Evergrande has a lot of similarities to Lehman Brothers from 2008. Guys, I believe Evergrande is the 2024 version, the Chinese version of Lehman 2.0. And we have to remember what occurred in the real estate sector that time around. Right now, the real estate market is on the verge of a mass explosion in value, believe it or not. Once they raise rates, I expect a reverse market crash, meaning prices to explode in value. But that's going to make the next generation of people unable to afford buying homes. But the people that already have them will have mass sums of wealth, mass ROI. And that's something you will need to be aware of. Here, ITM Trading breaks down further the importance of China's Evergrande and why this is going to have a ripple effect, no pun intended, of course, throughout the entire financial system. In 2008, Lehman brought the world to its knees. In 2024, this is going to be the Chinese Lehman Brothers. And the world's going to show the cracks in the dam that it's always shown. This could be the event that I believe brings XRP into the forefront as a potential black swan event solution to a massive liquidity crisis. But before we get there, let's break it down a little further.
When there was already a crisis of confidence coming from Chinese citizens around the housing market due to all of these pre-sold homes that weren't being built. In fact, since 2021, over 50 of China's property developers have defaulted on their debt. These developers are carrying a tremendously high debt-to-asset ratio, an average of 65%, with many of the larger players bumping into the 80 to 90% range. Now that funding has dried up, Evergrande is only the tip of the iceberg when it comes to property developers who are running out of ways to fulfill their debt obligations. Now, we still don't know exactly what will happen to Evergrande, the other property developers, and these local government institutions. But what we do know is that it is not in China's best interest to allow them to fail. There is already a massive push from China to restore confidence in the property sector. And if confidence in bonds, banks, and local government went away, it would be a blow that China might not be able to recover from. So the real question I want to come back to is, why did China aid in this impending catastrophe that they're helping keep afloat in the meantime? Could it be that they're setting the stage for the greatest wealth transfer in history? It's interesting when you think about it, that in the last few years, there has been a tremendous push into the real estate sector, spurred on by huge injections of cash into the system, combined with low interest rates. Now, the entire thing is set to collapse right when we have a record number of people with debt-backed assets and high interest rates to match. This has had many people questioning the timing of this liquidation, as it would conveniently aid in ushering in a significant crash. While not proven, there is speculation about who knew in advance decades. This didn't just happen overnight, but rather has been a long-planned and expertly executed series of events.
Long planned and expertly executed series of events. Taylor Kenny from ITM Trading sounded like a member of the XRP community. This is what we've been telling you all along. There is no randomness with these financial events. They're all coordinated. They're being puppeteered from the puppet masters, pulling strings to coordinate the correct things to happen when they need to. All of these things were predetermined a long time ago, and we are almost there. Evergrande is going to be a massive catalyst, and she broke down the importance of Evergrande, what it is, and now at the very least you're more informed. But guys, what we have here in the United States is a big warning from Jerome Powell. This is Jerome Powell's mission accomplished speech right before he pulls the rug on the banking system again like in 2020. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, Jerome Powell, over the past couple weeks, is being brought up to the forefront right now to tell the world what's about to happen. He's foreshadowing events. They are not bringing on the chairman of the Fed to 60 Minutes for no reason. We are going to get a March 2020 style crash and crisis-like event again. And whether you all know it or not, believe it or not, or like it or not, this is inevitable. This is the reason why he was brought to the forefront. And that's also why I highly recommend you watch this 60 Minutes episode. Jerome Powell was discussing how this system is not sustainable. And this should be a shot heard around the world. Stay true to the truth, my friends. The Fed policy is the biggest thing that affects all global markets. We're going to get a crash because of rate cuts at some point in 2024. But shortly thereafter, expect our crypto moon mission. Now guys, to cap off this video for today, I have David Schwartz, CTO of Ripple from XRP Drops, stating, I would like to think of automated market makers as a safe place to keep money relative to, let's say, just holding Bitcoin or just holding XRP. If that's your comparison, it's fairly safe. Automated market makers will be a way to earn passive income with XRP as we wait patiently for our moon mission, our bull run to take place. He is discussing the safety of using AMM. And while there is a little more risk than putting money in a bank or buying a publicly traded stock, but it is a relatively safe place if you don't care about having exposure to the totality of the volatility of crypto. My friends, AMMs have passed, clawbacks have passed, and that's yet another important amendment being brought to the XRP ledger. And all of this is happening while the SEC and Ripple had a massive update break today. The SEC gets a minor victory as Ripple is ordered to reveal 2022 to 2023 financials. And it's looking like the judge in the case is coming to a decision on how much Ripple is going to have to pay. Regardless of the fine, you all have to understand that this is the nail in the coffin for the conclusion of this case. Appeals are possible. Things can happen. Delays could be passed. But as of right now, based on the information we have, we're on the perfect trajectory for a Q2 conclusion of this lawsuit. And within the next week, we are going to see two of the biggest amendments pass on the XRP ledger than we ever have. XRP is relisted on all exchanges again. The possibility of earning passive income with XRP is now possible with AMM. And remember that in the background, Flare is absolutely exploding after their new partnership with Google Cloud. That's still earning us fat yields. And by the time everyone realizes what's being built right here on the XRP ledger, it'll be too late to make as much money as we had already. That is the vision you need to have. These are the goals you need to set. And remind yourself every day that you are slowly becoming the new 1%. Holding XRP is winning the lottery in slow motion. And before you know it, that vision will be realized. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Bearable Bull here. Thanks for tuning in. As always, I appreciate every single one of you. And now to cap off this video for today, I leave you with David Schwartz.
I'm excited about the AMM amendment, particularly because, I have access to investment products of all kinds. It's very easy for me to put my money wherever I want. But there's a lot of people who just don't have good options. And the AMM doesn't get 100% to that, because AMM putting funds into an AMM is not exactly safe, because you always have exposure to some volatile asset. I would think of an AMM as a safe place to keep money relative to, let's say, just holding Bitcoin or just holding XRP. In other words, if that's your comparison, it's fairly safe. But if your comparison is to putting money in a bank or buying, publicly traded stocks, it's not particularly safe, because you have exposure just to the whole volatility of the cryptocurrency space, if nothing else. But I'm really excited about things that will give people exposure, the abilities to get really safe return. I guess what we start out by trying to give millionaires, people have talked about over collateralized loans as a way to get millionaires tax efficient. I have a whole bunch of XRP and I've made millions of dollars on it. How can I spend it tax efficiently? That's interesting technically, and you can build market share that way. But does that make the world a better place? Whereas if you come up with a way to get people whose alternative might be stuffing cash in their mattress, a way to get a couple of percentage points at relatively low risk, that's more in the sort of make the world a better place kind of vein.
Hey, David, quick question. So for